Sound of Metal. So Emily did this thing for us where she made a list of movies that she thinks are going to be Oscar worthy.
I mean, I didn't pull it out of my ass. I read a couple articles and just compiled it. Normally this time of year, Nico and I go out of our way to see every Best Picture nomination. And
we do.
By this time this year, by this time of year, in a normal situation, we'd be like, okay, the Oscars are in 2 weeks.
We would have seen everything.
We would have been living in a movie theater for the last couple of months.
Right.
So to grasp some normalcy in 2021, I compiled the list and it's all right, let's jump in. Let's start watching movies.
Right.
Let's do
And
it.
Sound of Metal was the first one we watched.
And great start. I love this movie.
This movie's amazing.
So fucking good.
So good.
Anyway, The Sound of Metal is about a heavy metal drummer, who begins to lose his hearing, and as a result, he reluctantly checks himself into a
Kind of a group home.
It's a group home, kind of like a
is
it
deaf
an AA?
community, deaf community.
Yeah, but
Is
it's
it
also
an
an
AA
AA.
kind of
Yeah,
situation? Okay.
yeah.
There's religion,
right,
and like a
addict community services kind of
right.
thing. Yeah,
and he's trying to make sense of his new situation. If hearing is his life, if music is his life, and losing that, what happens? What happens to you as a human being? How do you deal with that?
And his girlfriend is it's just a 2-person metal band. She's the vocalist and guitar player. So they live together on this huge Airstream trailer.
It's a really cool Airstream.
It's a really cool Airstream. But yeah, it's about learning how to be deaf and then also grappling with this relationship.
It's about
more
fixing versus adapting is what I got out of it. That's kind of the theme. It's he's trying to fix his life instead of adapting to his new reality. And I mean, God, it ended so well.
Riz Ahmed is obviously we've only seen one movie.
Was incredible.
How is he not going to be nominated for Best Actor?
He's going to be nominated.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah, he's absolutely going to be nominated. And I haven't seen Ma Rainey's Black Bottom yet, and I know Chadwick Boseman is getting a lot of...
Chadwick's in two movies on
but
our list.
He's specifically getting buzz for Ma Rainey.
He is.
And were it not that kind of posthumous situation, I think Riz Ahmed would have a better chance of winning. But I think they're going to do kind of a Heath Ledger thing. But that's purely conjecture.
Yeah,
it's purely
I also want to say
speculation.
that whoever directed this, actually his name is Darius Marder, is a first-time director.
It's his debut.
Knocked it out of the fucking park.
I have some fun notes on that.
I cannot believe he did this, because it wasn't just a really good directorial debut. It wasn't just his vision of it. It's how he dealt with all departments in cinema, with music and sound and with the acting.
He had a really strong vision, which is why this movie took 10 years
incredible.
to make.
There's no score to it, is there? Am I remembering that correctly? I don't think there's any score the whole time, but it's a lot of sound. The sound design.
The sound design is
and
incredible.
Mixing is
that's what I'm saying.
Insane.
It's his first time directing, and he had such a great handle on sound design, pacing, the editing. He knew exactly what he wanted, and you just felt Riz Ahmed's feelings throughout the entire thing. You're in his shoes the whole time, and it was scary. I was scared.
You're in it.
Yeah, I was scared for him, and I was.
Yeah,
it was hard to watch.
My heart was beating so often during the movie because I'm just God,
about
that's
Darius
terrifying.
Marder, did you? I don't know if you guys know this. This movie is essentially 10 years in the making.
Wow, really?
So, and this is per IndieWire. These are not my words. Credit goes to IndieWire.
Brent's a genius, actually.
I wrote this stuff down because I thought it was really interesting. The real story of Sound of Metal begins with a $1 million check to a different filmmaker for a different movie.
Huh.
So Derek, is it Cian France? The guy who did Blue Valentine.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right.
Also
IFP
a fucking
awarded,
gut punch of a
and
movie.
A Place Beyond the Pines.
A decade ago, IFP awarded him a $1 million grant for a different movie. Long story short, I'm trying to condense this as much as possible. He meets Darius Marder. They kind of become fast friends. It turns out their kids are going to the same school.
Oh.
They get to talking about film. And
what?
Derek had another movie called Metalhead that he had been working on for a long time, but kept getting pulled into different projects. Metalhead was a documentary. He was following a metal band and trying to capture real moments, trying to give them things to have real moments and then capture them. So it was he was manipulating, but it was also a documentary. it just wasn't taking shape the way it was supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
And then he asked Martyr if he would co-write with him a couple times. He did. It ended up being very successful. And at some point, they were talking about that, and Martyr had a really strong vision for it, and he kind of like gave Martyr like the rights to it. It was like, all right, if you want to do this, do your thing. After that, there was still like 5 or 6 years of him rewriting it, of him getting turned down, of this, typical Hollywood story.
Yeah.
The movie looks like it's not going to get made. Ahmed spent 7 months training for the part. When the latest financiers pulled out, Martyr refused to give them a final cut, so they pulled out.
He learned ASL and learned to drum for this role.
Just for this role. One day before production was set to begin, Martyr called his friends Bill and Kathy Benz, heirs to the Mercedes-Benz fortune, in a last-ditch attempt to save the project.
Good friends to have,
and
I guess.
they literally funded it the next day, and they started filming.
Oh, wow.
So this was essentially a 10-year journey with
a
different directors and writers' idea.
You know, every film is a different mountain to climb, which is why, I mean, I don't want to talk about Steven Spielberg, but the fact that he can make so many goddamn movies and like crushes it and just like it's just having fun climbing these fucking ginormous hills. I mean, although he gets a lot of backing and financing.
He's got better mountain climbing equipment.
He does. Yeah, that's really good.
And here's the thing after this is Martyr is like he's really, really, really hard-nosed on doing it himself and doing it the hard way and being in control of everything. And that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. But now that this is going to be incredibly successful, because it's an amazing fucking movie.
Right.
He just like literally what he said about this is I just want to be able to continue to make movies. Right. Like as long as I can continue to make movies and do them my way, I'm happy.
And he's going to.
What he had 6 years to meditate on the script and rewrite it and you know have all these different ideas. You know, whenever I have an idea for something and I walk around the block a few times, like I just have these mounds of notes for myself. If you have 6 years on one project that you have so much passion for,
and
like
it was essentially
it literally shows in this. I thought it was incredibly smart, clever, genius. I loved it.
But I think also like if you have that much time to marinate on an idea or a series of ideas, it can get muddled. You know what I mean? Like you can overcook it, overwork it.
Yeah.
And I think this movie is like so it's intimate and it's powerful, but it's not like in your face. It's not overly complicated.
Right.
It's really not. I mean, you can go over the synopsis in like 3 sentences.
Yeah.
Right.
And of course, there's more details to it, but
there's so many moments that you're just sitting with Riz.
Silence.
Yeah, and just sitting with like his character and what he's going through. Like the moment that they finally like he's supposed to get his hearing back and they like activate
the cochlear implant.
Yeah, they activate the implants. And you're just sitting with it, and it's all just noise, and she's adjusting it, and it's not getting any better. I'm just sitting there, like I started like breathing heavy, like I was like him for a second. I was like, oh shit, this is really hard to watch.
I'm not gonna lie. I was like,
hard.
I said to myself, "Moment of truth. Here we go." I was by myself saying that.
I would be really curious, and I should have looked this up beforehand, but to hear what the deaf community thinks of this movie, because I know there's a lot of like differing thoughts about cochlear implants, and I like that they showed a very realistic portrayal of them. Like they are not
and the
a
ideas of that too, right?
Yeah.
The
it's
guy
not
Joe,
something to fix,
right?
Yeah,
Joe,
exactly.
which I mean, he plays the counter of.
Is the actor who plays Joe actually deaf? Because his sign language is fucking
hold on.
incredible.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
His parents are deaf.
Okay.
He did actually fight in the Vietnam War,
Wow.
like you said, and also.
And he's like super, at least to someone who does not sign or anything like that, he looked incredibly fluent and it looked incredibly natural.
Since he was a child.
He's also a former addict too.
Okay, wow.
So he really fit
He is that character, yeah.
Also, I loved
we need
that
this,
character.
this, and this.
Dude, he was so wise and gentle and calm, and he was
and
that theme
love.
of just adapting and not trying to fix yourself and just.
How do you say his last name? Raci? Dude,
no idea.
Fucking murdered that.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
The scene.
I love that guy.
The scene where he's telling him like, I told you this is not something to fix. I have to protect my family.
Yeah, and he
and for
kicks
that
him
reason,
out.
I need you to pack your bags and leave right now.
Yeah.
And he
I
leaves,
love
and
that
you can just see him like, just like take a breath after that conversation. It's like
this was because Riz was just like, okay, fine, and left, and then like you just say, he's like, that was so heavy on Joe. He was like.
I like, yeah. And he's like, you're acting like an addict right now. Like I can see.
And he was.
And he was like that manic,
no, it's fine.
franticness.
I just need the money. I just need the money.
My girlfriend's parents are rich anyway. I don't even. I'm sorry, I asked. I'm sorry, I asked. Like,
Right.
Oh my god.
You're like,
Yeah.
little fucking subtleties in all the performance.
God.
When Lou, his girlfriend, is leaving, that scene, I was like, streaming tears down my face.
Same.
That's gonna be the
Favorite scene in the movie.
Like when he's nominated, that's gonna be the scene they show.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Like, oh god.
Yeah.
Were you talking about when? I'm sorry, I missed it.
When
When
she's
Lou
saying,
leaves.
when she's
first
saying
time?
you need to go back there, and she's like getting
for the
in
first
cab.
time,
Yeah,
when
the
she's
Uber.
getting, oh my god, yeah, that actually was the highlight scene for me.
Yeah.
as well, because
Where he's like, "You're my heart, you're my everything." I'm like, God.
he's like, just
damn
wait for
it."
me, because you know that like splitting up and no contact, like if that's his whole world, and she's leaving.
He's an addict. He's
And he's already
addicted
going
to that
back to
relationship.
cigarettes.
as
And what
well.
sucks
Yeah.
is that
You can see the wheels turning.
And what sucks, which goes with the theme of fixing versus adapting, she's starting to adapt to her new lifestyle without him. And he notices that when she's playing shows by herself and it's a different vibe, different sound.
Yeah.
He's like, I got to sell everything quickly so I could go back and make her
Salvage
this.
salvage
Yeah.
this. Like, I don't want her to forget about me. And even though, like, I mean, she wasn't trying to, but she had to adapt to her new life without
Can't
him.
sit there and wait. Yeah.
And she was
Exactly.
doing better. Her scratches were gone from her arm.
And as soon as he
Yeah.
comes back, she
Yeah.
started scratching again. And that's when he realized.
that fucking scene where he's like, we got to get the band back together. I got to get the thing back. And you see her just do this.
Yeah.
And he notices her do that.
And that's when he was like,
that was the entire transformation of this
he
character.
was like,
right
it's
there.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, it's okay to just,
All
I
of it's
have to
okay.
let you go.
All
you
of
know,
it's okay,
we
yeah.
love each other, but
You saved my life. I saved your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
this
Like,
is a good
God,
time for us to
I've
like
got goosebumps from
Yeah.
head to
Oh,
toe.
God, that
like this
movie
movie's
was
so
so
fucking
fucking
good.
so fucking well
I mean,
written.
the movie really, like, his love for Lou is as much or even more so a quiddity than his love for music.
Yeah.
And they almost mask that. It's like, it's all about the music, but they're masking the fact that the movie's almost more so about his relationship with Lou than anything else. And in that moment, that's like, the whole thing kind of sets in that moment when she itches and he realizes
Yeah.
it.
yeah.
And he realizes like it's again the like you can't fix. There's no quick fix.
Yeah.
For things.
yeah. Oh my god. All right, so
I noticed this about
Okay.
the way I cry to movies. Left eye always starts first.
Oh, okay.
I
All right,
never
TLC,
realized that.
TLC,
Left
baby.
eye always starts first. It's
Left
always
eye-
the-
left eye
For our
B.
viewers, Nico does not cry. You cried at like Lion, and that's pretty much it.
I cried at Star Trek. 2009, J.J. Abrams. The very first 10 minutes of the movie, I was really stoned. And
I'm like, how? What?
when
I would be so unemotionally invested.
Chris
in that.
Hemsworth's character, he
Are you
was
crying?
Chris Pine's dad was saving his life, and she was giving birth while it was being injected. And it was all in the first 10 minutes. I was
Star
like,
Trek
oh my God.
and an 8th episode of Seinfeld.
Yeah.
The only ones that did it to me.
But so Nico never
Sorry,
cries.
I don't.
Brent, I know, cries. I cry a lot.
Yeah, I cry.
that's-
We probably cry about the same amount.
Speaking of which, I watched Coco last night. Still makes me cry. I've
Yep.
seen it like 10 times. Still makes me cry like a
I've
little
watched
baby.
Soul 3 times already, and each time I cried 3 times. So
Yeah.
I got emotional once during Soul, and it was
Nico
Which
gets
part?
like
it was
a little
really
like,
good
huh.
feeling. Emotion.
You should try it sometime. It's really fun having emotions.
Pixar should make a movie about emotions.
I cried twice.
I believe that inside and out.
Oh my god! I cried twice in this movie. This movie got me twice.
Yeah, same. It got me when Lou was leaving, and then right at the very end.
Yep.
Mm.
Same.
Yeah, when he takes off the.
Well, see, that didn't do it for me. It was when he said it's okay.
Yeah,
And she
yeah.
started crying.
The
She's
whole-
like,
the
she's
whole
like, why
end.
are you saying that? That fucking got me.
How much do you guys think that this movie made at the box office?
What box office?
Yeah, I don't know. How do you even quantify that at this point?
By the way, this movie's available on Amazon.
It opened in Australia. I actually have the numbers.
Because
right
they're the
here.
only ones who have their shit together that can go back to movie theaters right,
Right,
now.
right. So how much do you think it made in
I
Australia?
have no fucking idea. Literally don't even
$4
have
million.
any idea.
Australia's
$4
not
million,
a big
Brent, what do you
market.
think?
4,000,001.
Right, bitch. Fucking Bob Barker.
$14,279.
Oh.
$1, Bob.
Yeah.
My car is worth more than that.
That's
My
not
used
true.
Mazda 3. No, you're right. It's like 11. But still, that's not far off. That's not far off.
That's sad. Sad. I'm crying right now.
Well, hopefully Amazon gave him a better deal than
Yeah.
God, I hope
yeah.
so.
what the box office allowed them to make. One thing I wrote in my notes. Shit tattoos shake my head.
Oh, I love all of his shitty tattoos so
Like
much.
he has like white tidy
The
whities.
shittiest tattoos
What's the one he has
ever.
His
across his chest that
clowns.
says like,
Please kill me.
please kill me.
me.
Yeah, please kill me.
I
across
love his
chest.
shitty tattoos. I
They're
love that
so bad.
he gives one of his like housemates a shitty tattoo as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Love it. Love the shitty
The
tattoos.
tidy whiteys on his shoulder though. And then like he took off his shirt and there's like a really bad clown,
clown
on his
on the
back.
back,
I was like,
yeah.
oh my
Oh,
god.
God.
Like I got.
It looks like he
took
did it
me out of the
himself. He just
movie.
reached around his back. and
Yeah, it's
tattooed
like he was in a mirror, like.
So I want to talk about the scene that inspired this cocktail. Bill is the character's name, right?
Joe,
Joe. Okay.
House director
Joe instructs Ruben to go sit in a room and write until he can be still and quiet. And Ruben is going through some shit, and he gets in there, and there's a cup of coffee, and there's a donut sitting on the table. And Ruben's going through some shit, so he smashes the shit out of this fucking donut, then squishes it back together, and then smashes it again.
Yeah, I love
so
that.
that's the
I love the
inspiration.
smashing it. He's like,
And it's like fixing, you're like, oh, he's fixing it.
So that's why this is what the fuck
So
did that donut ever
genuine.
do to you?
God, he
I flinched
he
about
was
it. I'm like, no, not the donut.
He was so genuine in this role. Everything he did felt so goddamn real. Like he
Yeah.
was so good at that. And apparently he only communicated with the director on set in ASL.
Not only, but he did often.
Okay, often.
He learned it a lot. He learned it and was like, that was how they
Oh,
communicated.
not my sources.
Actually, IndieWire
Shot
says, go
back.
fuck yourself.
I was just texting Riz actually. He
Yeah.
said, he said Brent sucks. And
Can we talk about how Sound of Metal has two meanings and how you think it's about him being a metal drummer, and then when he got those implants turned on and he's walking around.
Oh, yeah. And there's
Just
also this.
I was thinking he was banging on metal with the kid
with
on
the
the
little
slide.
kid. Yeah, on the
Oh,
slide.
no, I was thinking about when he gets the implants in and they turn him on for the first
And
time.
it
He's
sounds
walking
And it's
around.
metallic and
tinny.
awful.
It's
And it's,
tinny.
and it's got these,
Yeah.
the metal on his fucking head. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
It's fucking metal.
That's a deep title for this movie.
It's a really good title for this movie. I love that his implants didn't work that well.
Yeah.
I liked that it didn't go back to normal and he was just like hearing fine. I
and he
love that.
spent all that money and he like.
He spent all that money all that time.
God.
Like, I got to fix my life. And then he's realizing that the more he tries to fix his life, it's not the worse it's getting. It's just, it doesn't feel right. Nothing's fitting back into place like it used to be.
I really felt that when she was playing the song with her dad, and they slowly go from the sound in the room to his
to what
sound,
he's hearing.
Yeah.
and it's like you can barely even hear the
Yeah.
notes of the piano, and
Yeah.
he's just sitting there like blank.
Right.
And it's like
God.
that. I think that
Fuck.
for me, that was like the moment where it set in. Like, this is not going to be the same.
Yeah.
Which leads into the ending of the movie where he finds his silence, the silence that house director Joe was telling him to find in that room. He was trying to teach him that, and he finally was able to let go of his new implants
Because he's
and
sitting
just
in a
sit
park
there.
in Paris and like there's fucking traffic noise and people
Yeah.
noise and the fucking church
the
bells.
church bell is like
Yeah.
ringing
Right.
his head.
He let go of Lulu. You know, his life is everything that he built up in this story is all cut off from him, and he's
Yeah.
finally dealing with it and adapting to a situation. It ended perfectly.
It's almost like you can hear him. The line by Joe is, "It's in the stillness that the kingdom of God shows up, and it's those moments that stay with you."
Yeah.
And it's almost like this. He takes those off, and it's like you can almost hear fucking Joe saying that
Right.
to him,
Mm-hmm.
and he just like takes it in for a moment. I knew the movie was ending. Like
Yeah.
the second he
Oh,
took
yeah.
those off, and he was just sitting there and like staring out. I was like,
Like that's
Wow.
it. That's
And
the
also
ending.
they-
I wanted to like slow clap in my living room.
Also, Darius he did a great job, like just lingering on shots. Mm-hmm. It wasn't
Yeah.
like usually like there's like a rule like every 5 seconds you kind of have to cut 3 to 5 seconds.
lingered.
Usually.
who makes those
He
rules,
lingered on
though?
just like the leaves blowing in the wind and the sun shining for like it was like some of these shots.
That's
It
where you
felt
get
like
to
they're like
notice
10
those
seconds
details.
long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love when editors can hold shots like that because usually editors feel like they have to fucking cut everything down, like concise things.
Yeah.
And I love those lingering
Let it
shots.
linger. Let it. Yeah.
Right.
Let
They're
those
way more
details
powerful.
shine
You
through.
get to think more when shots are lingering. Like, Stanley Kubrick has a long lingering shots a lot.
Yeah.
And when you're looking at like
Sometimes
a
too
Michael
long.
Bay, sometimes
and it
too
just
long.
goes into like he was trying to make you sit with what Riz's character Ruben was feeling, and those moments where it sits for longer, like the scene where he's getting the implants turned on. Those moments where you're sitting for longer, you just feel it more. Like you're just looking into his eyes, and it's like you just feel it.
See all that pain.
It's like you don't. Yeah, you just keep
It's like
getting deeper and deeper into it.
It's like he has no patience too, and those lingering shots are like we as the audience have to have patience for the next shot.
Yeah.
God damn it, it's brilliant.
Pretty fucking brilliant.
Anything else?
I gotta go. Yeah, nothing that's.
Do we have any shot
better
bets
than
we
what
have to
we've already
settle?
talked about.